Good morning and welcome to this overview video for MAP 2.3 for MindManager. My name is Nigel Galt. I am the director of Olympic Limited and the lead developer for MAP. In this edition we've got four new capabilities for you. We're going to run through our standard map format as we run through this, as those of you who've watched our other videos will be familiar with. And we're also going to talk a little bit at the end about what's coming up in Q4. So as we've got four, I'm going to try and get through this fairly quickly because I know that time is precious. So let's jump straight in and get on with this. So the first two capabilities that we've added have been around the topic properties, and so what we've done here is we've added the ability to be able to sort a collection of subtopics that contain custom properties by a specific custom property value, and we've also enabled the ability to be able to filter across your whole map based on a specific custom topic property value as well. So we're going to show you those in a minute. We're going to do all of this on one demo map. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the four capabilities here. The third one that we've added is a link to PDF page. So this enables you to create a link to a specific page within a PDF document, either via the one that's hosted on the web or one that's hosted on your local system. There are some little issues with that. We will show you those when we demonstrate that in a little while. And the final one is actually something that we've produced as a standalone add-in, so it's available outside of MAP for those of you who don't want to invest in MAP for whatever reason. But we've also included it in the MAP product for those of you who are keen users, because we thought that it was something that was probably being used quite a lot by a lot of people. Basically, the existing functionality that enabled you to search Google and have results returned into your map has ceased to function since around May or June this year. That's due to the API that was being used being removed from service by Google. MindJet have said that there won't be a patch for MindManager 2016 nor any previous version that had the capability, which is any version back to MindManager 8. And they've also said that it won't be, if you like, fixed or reintroduced with the upcoming MindManager 2017 when that launches later this year. So we decided to put the functionality back. We've also added a few improvements which we'll show you shortly. So I'm going to just jump to our demo map and we'll look at these one by one. So sort by property. As I said before, basically this enables you to sort a collection of subtopics by a specific property value. In order to do that, the command is located on the ribbon. By default, the commands for all four of these new capabilities are enabled on the ribbon when you install MAP for the first time, so you should be able to find them there. If they're not, obviously we have the MAP task pane, which lists all of the commands, and as some of you will know, you can right click and decide what does show and doesn't show within the ribbon, and also the quick launch menu by right clicking and selecting those options from the task pane. I'm going to work with the ribbon for the purpose of this demo, but just to let you know that obviously that task pane is there and you can access all commands at any given time from that. So to basically sort by this, what you do need to do is select the main topic that contains the collection of subtopics. So I'm going to select this sales by region, fire the sort by property command, and as usual that's going to drop the dialog box down from the right hand side of my screen. This will appear on the left if you've selected a left hand user interface, and that gives us a drop down which we can then expand to see which properties. Now I've only got one property in each of these topics, but if I had 5 or 6, then it would give me the option to sort on any of those properties that exist within the subtopic structure. So basically we select sales and we say, okay, we want to sort that on the sales value. We click sort, and then the map changes and you can now see that these are ordered. Currently the sort is ascending, so it goes from low to high. We are looking at being able to put the option to choose between ascending and descending in the next version of MAP, so hopefully that will be coming along in Q4. But that just gives you a very easy way to sort topics so that you can get some form of order and sequence to help you locate specific values or properties. Likewise, the filter by property just does exactly what it says on the tin really. This works across the map and allows you to filter on any custom property by its value. Currently the filter is set so that when you filter it will hide any values that do not meet your criteria. Again, with the next release of mapping, hopefully Q4, we'll look to giving that an option so that you can either hide or show the actual search or the actual filter criteria. So once again, to show you this, it doesn't really matter what you have selected in the map, because when you activate this command, what it does is scan the map and it finds any property within the map. So as you can see, it's picked up the sales property from the previous topic that we were discussing. So to demonstrate this, if I select location and then I'm going to type in here Germany, you've got the ability to ignore the case if you wanted to do case sensitive filtering as well. I click filter and then the map closes down to just show me those that have got the location of Germany. So if I remove that filter again, I can show you we've also set it so that it will filter on things like the booleans as well. So again, if I go filter and I click status and I'll say show me all topics that are set to true, filter that off, and you can see once again map closes down and I'm only shown the topics that have that custom property value. So very simple but hopefully very powerful way to help you hone in on important information where you're using custom properties and being able to filter and order them quite quickly. So moving on to the third capability we've got, this is a link to a specific PDF page number. This allows you to insert a link to either a PDF that's located on the web or locally, and have it open up at a specific page number. Now, basically what this does is it alters the format of the hyperlink that goes in the map, and it can be done manually, but obviously that's a little bit time consuming, especially if you want to do it with quite a few pages within a document or a few links. So the link to PDF pages is been introduced to just make that whole process a bit easier. So the way that works is we select the topic that we want to add the link to. We find the link to page command is up on the linking options. Once we click that, again the dialog opens on the top right or top left depending upon how your user interface is set, and you put in here the path to the PDF. Now you can either type that path in if you know it, or if it's a local file then you can browse to that. So I'm going to browse to a local file and I'm going to pick this Google Search Plus PDF, and you can then either type or use the up down arrows to pick the page number that you wish. Once you're ready to go, click insert link and then it links. So I'm going to do that again with this one on page 4 because there's something that I need to show you with this which is a little bit quirky, and I'd like you to see it before you try it. So I now have two topics each that are linked to a specific page within the same PDF. So if I wanted to look at page 2, I click the link, MindManager browser opens up and I'm on page 2. Okay, so that's page 2 of the help document for the Google Search Plus, which we'll discuss after this. Now, what I was hoping would happen is we'd be able to click to go to page 4, but what actually happens is we get a blank screen. Now, as far as we can find out at the moment, the reason for this is because the page parameter seems to be sent only when the document is opened. If the document is already open, then it seems to be ignored and obviously it doesn't display anything. So it's a little bit frustrating, but there is a workaround, and the workaround is that basically between visiting different page numbers, you need to basically navigate away from the PDF. So if we navigate just simply to the home page for the browser, which I've got set as Google, I can click to page 2. I get page 2. If I then wanted to go to page 4, I click to go to the home page, and then I click to page 4, and I'll get to page 4. So it's a little bit annoying really, but it's the only way at the moment that we can find a workaround for that. We are looking at it, and obviously if we find a solution we'll implement it as soon as possible. But for those of you who would like to be able to, for example, take a manual and create a map that says, okay, well, if we're looking at a specific topic or subject matter area, then if you go to these particular chapters, then these are the most important. It does enable you to be able to navigate within the PDF straight to those specific page numbers, which can help speed things up for the reader. So that's the link to PDF page number, and we hope you'll find that quite handy as well. By far the biggest addition to the 2.3 release is the Google Search Plus functionality. This functionality has been developed because there was already an inbuilt capability to search Google within MindManager and have search results returned into your map. This was done with the existing map part. So if you opened up the map part task pane and went to search, you had this Google Smart Map part here. What would normally happen with that, if I just extend this out, you would drag it onto a topic, and this would then go off out. You'd say, okay, look for 10 results, the search term is MindJet, click OK, and off it would go. And normally what it would do is bring back the top 10 results and add them to this Google topic. Since around May or June this year, the API that was being used for this capability was removed from service by Google, which effectively broke this functionality within MindManager 2016. The functionality was also in previous versions all the way back to MindManager 8, I think, when it was introduced, and because obviously it's reliant on the web service, and that's now been removed, it means that this is effectively broken across all versions back to MindManager 8. As we had quite a few people that use MindManager for research, and we've got a lot of people that use it in projects, and they like to be able to search around specific subject matter as they're going through project management cycles, we felt that it was something that will probably be missed. MindJet have also said that they won't be repairing it, if you like, for MindManager 2017, which is due out shortly. So you know, the ability is not going to be there for potentially at least 12 months. So we thought that we'd have a look at this and see if we could do something, because there were quite a few people who were requesting the functionality. And Google Search Plus is what we came up with. Now, to use Google Search Plus, you do require two credentials that you need to set up with on Google. It's very easy to do. It takes you about 5 to 10 minutes, and we have in the Google Search Plus help map, which has its own help map, we have links to 2 videos that show you how to get these 2 credentials, and we also have a PDF document which you've just seen, which shows you step by step, screenshot by screenshot, how you get these. It's totally free, and as I say, it takes about 5 or 10 minutes, so don't let that put you off, but you will need to do that before you can effectively use the add-in. So let's see how this works. So we select a topic. We're going to do this twice just to show you how some of the options. So I select the MindJet topic. I click the Google Search Plus. Okay, and I get the dialog box as normal. Now, if this is the first time you've used Google Search Plus, what you will see instead of this is you will see this Google Search Plus credentials box. When you see this, this is where you will need to enter the 2 credentials I just spoke about, which is your Google API key and your Google Custom Search Engine ID. Once you have these 2 pieces of information and you store them in these fields, and you update or you store them at the first time round, you're done. That box disappears. You don't need to go to that again unless there's a reason your API key stops working or your search engine needs to be updated. So once you've got those set and you activate the command, you'll see the standard Google Search Plus screen. So there's some options here, and we'll try and run through these fairly quickly. The search term is picked up straight away from the actual topic that you selected, but this is free form, so you can actually add something to this using normal Google search syntax, and that will work. That will be perfectly acceptable. The show results from past is inactive unless you increment this value up to 1. Once you do that, it then gives you the ability to restrict results. So for example, I could restrict the results of this particular search to only pick up things that have been crawled and registered in the last year, so it will give me more up-to-date results rather than bringing in anything that's too historical and distorting the search. I'm going to turn that off for the moment. Number of results, there is a limit, and the limit that Google have set is 10. So with any particular search you can only return effectively the top 10 results of that search. You can return less results if you wish to do that, but it's worth noting that Google have restricted the requests that a user can have on the API per day, and that request is a limit of 100. So each time you use this, that's one request. So if you're returning 10 results, you've used one request. If you're returning 3 results, that's one request. So just bear that in mind when you're actually using this. It's probably best to just leave it set on 10. The option for a new topic for each result, which is checked by default, basically this means that for every result returned, it will create a brand new topic off of your search topic here. So we're going to demonstrate that so you see that. If you deselect that, it means that what will happen is that the number of results will be returned and stored on a single topic, and they will just be a group of 5 or 10 hyperlinks to the pages, whichever quantity you've selected. The option to include text notes basically enables the topic to have text notes that show the map or show the search snippet from Google, which you would normally see on a Google page search, and also that includes a link in the topic notes as well. Again, if you're using that and you're not returning a result for each topic, then the notes are combined into one note on that single topic. Again, we'll show you that. We also have the option to include a date map marker. That's off by default. If you select to have that on, it will put a text label on with the date of your search. This means it's automatically picked up by the marker index, which means that if you were looking for results from a particular day where you thought, actually I was looking for some results on Ferraris, I know that I searched for that on Monday the 25th, you can go to the marker index, find the marker index for Monday the 25th under the Google Search Plus items, and then you'll be able to see all of those topic search. And finally, the API quota, which is what I mentioned before, that's set to 100. Everyone gets that for free. You can get more if you pay, but the adding is set to basically reset itself each day with 100. So the first time you use it in the day, we've now got 100 searches. As you'll see, when we use the searches, that will increment. So I'm just going to do a straightforward search on this now. I'm going to search on MindJet, new topic for each result. We'll include the text notes, and we'll also include the date marker as well. So I run the search, that's going to go off, do its thing, and then in come my results. So this is the top 10 results it's brought from my particular search engine. As you can see, it's put the text label on there with the date that the results were returned. So what this does in effect, if I open up the marker index, you'll see we have a group that's created here, which is the Google Search Plus. And now with this marker, if I extend that, it shows me these topics were returned on this date. So as that builds in a single map, I will be able to locate results by date if I have a requirement to do that. What we've also done is made it so that it won't return duplicate results. So when you do a search and you return this, if you've done this search, the settings are saved on your topic. So if we fire this a second time round, you can see that, for example, it saved the fact that I'm using the date marker. You can also see as well that the quota now, I've used 1 out of my 100 for today, and that will reset when I use this adding again tomorrow. So that gave us a topic for each result that was returned. So now what we're going to do is, let's close that, let's close that, close that. Let's do it for the MindManager subtopic, and we'll do some changes. This time we'll drop this down and we'll say we only want 5. We'll put it onto one topic. We'll include text notes. We'll lose the marker. So I go search, and here's my results. Now this is on one topic here, so I should have my 5 links as I have here. And if I click the notes, you'll see here are the results that were returned with the snippets, and again the link to those particular pages, so I can navigate to those results straight away. So that's basically how that works. As I say, it's replaced the functionality that had become broken. We've tried to add some, so for example, as I said before, you can use Google syntax here, and I could say minus mindjet. If I return 5 on that again, and then what we should see there is that I've actually got some additional results. So I've got my original 5, but the extra ones that it's added to as well. So this means that you can store these searches up, and as you reactivate them, as you can see, it's stored the customization on the term as well. So you could run this once a week, and as new results come into the top 10 or whatever the range is, then you will be building up a topic structure of all those particular results as they become found. So I think there's some nice improvements there that people will find handy. We're also looking at the ability to be able to return more than 10 results. Hopefully that will come in the Q4 release. But basically we can do that by looping searches, so that we can set it so that, for example, if you wanted to search for 30 results, effectively what we would do is initiate 3 requests. The first request would pull back the first 10, then the second request would pull back the next 10, and so on, and we can stack those so that it could bring back a group. The thing to remember would be that obviously if we did that, then one search for 30 results would effectively be 3 requests on the API that day. So you could run through your quota quite quickly, but as we've got the gauge here, you can obviously see when those requests are going to start getting a bit precious. So that's really it from the point of view of the main functionality. I hope you like what you see. Now I'm just going to jump back to the main map now. Minor additions, there's nothing in this release really that we can class as minor. We do still have quite a few things that we need to get to, but we always seem to be bombarded sometimes with requests that we feel sometimes take precedence over that. So we are working on some minor additions that will be appearing shortly, and hopefully we'll get them in the Q4 release. Again, same for improvements as on this release really. Again, and the same with bug fixes, we haven't had any reports of anything untowards that we've needed to jump on. So if you do find anything, let us know straight away. We're committed to making sure that the product does exactly what it should do, and if it doesn't work for whatever reason, we need to know, because once we know, we will fix it ASAP. We don't hang around when those things are identified. As usual, the help map's been updated with all of the guidance. You will find that there is an individual help map for the Google Search Plus element, obviously because there's a lot more detail in that, and within that Google Search Plus help map, which I will just show you now, if I can get that to open. So this is the dedicated map for that. You'll see under this topic of setting up that it actually explains here about the API key and the custom search engine, and there's a link to the developer URLs where you actually go through the process, and there's also a link to a YouTube video for each of those as well. Okay, so if you have a need for that, then do that. Also on the website there is a link to a PDF document as well, which you can get to. So all that's really left for this session is what's on the horizon. Well, as many of you probably know, MindManager 2017 is fairly imminent. I think from what I've seen on MindJet's website, they're looking at sometime early October for a release on that. So one of our main aims is to make sure that map is available for 2017 when it does release. Our aim is to make sure that we get that into your hands within 1 or 2 weeks at the latest of when that release hits. Obviously we are restricted to waiting until that time, so that we can make sure that everything operates as it should, and we may well do a small video overview of the 2017 release in case there is anything that any of the new version changes have affected, but we don't think that there will be. And then other than that, really, it's map 2.4. We're looking for Q4, potentially end of October for that. Chances are it will probably run into November, but we're hoping that that will bring the map functions up to 50. So it's a special edition for us, so we'll hopefully try and get something nice in there for you again. And as I say, we still have plenty of ideas to keep us rolling through into 2017 and for continued development on the new version as well. So lots to look forward to, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for your time. No, it's precious, but we hope that these videos give you a sense of what each new capability does and helps you jump in and get started straight away. As always, if you've got any questions or you hit any problems, contact us through the website, and just let us know straight away, and we will sort whatever issues or problems that you may find. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll look forward to speaking to you on the 2.4 release.